Hey there, I am John Harder. My website is Crypto-TBC. My channel is Crypto-TBC. My website is Crypto-TBC.com. I am a trusted seller of TBC. I am willing to partner with anyone who has referred people and whose referrals would like to buy TBC. And if you don't have a send button, I'd be happy to help you out and partner with you and get your referrals set up with some coin. On tonight's video, tonight's stream, I would like to give my testimony, not just as far as TBC is concerned itself, but like my experience with TBC, but a little further, a little bit more than that. Because I believe that there are many people who aren't sure where they are in life, because we have all been conditioned to live in this little bubble that where we tend to think that we have this government that has everything under control, and whatever limitations, whatever we are allowed to do is what we can do, and then what we're not allowed, well, those are our limitations. And the fact is that life is such that there should no man be restricting someone else from moving forward and in living the life that they want to live, because there is abundance globally. There's a global abundance. There is plenty of everything we need is provided. Now the joy, the confidence, the happiness, wealth, love, and peace, all of those. Now, of course, I had wealth in there. Wealth is something that happens that we can create as we think wealthy. Everything that we make, everything that happens in our lives happens because of the way we think. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, because a number of years ago, in 2009 to be more exact, I was experiencing some health problems, and to me, they were very serious health problems. I went to the doctor like everybody does. I went to the doctors and to see what is causing the symptoms. And the doctors, they couldn't locate it. They could not diagnose what the problems were. And so to me, I was kind of confused about that. I thought doctors, they can, how could this be something new? How could this be something different than what other people have? Like, I mean, it would just be something that, but they had no idea. Then I went in a convenience store. One day I was purchasing some fuel, and as I went in the store to pay for the fuel, I heard a couple of women that were talking you know, and the one was telling the other about her husband who had just about, you know, died. He had very nearly died due to uh, the prescribed medication from the doctors. And to me, that was scary because I was experiencing health problems, and I was like, oh, what do I do now? Because now, obviously, I can't trust the doctors, the prescribed medication, and indeed, my my first reaction after I did get medication from the doctor was it was a headache. It was a headache like none I ever had before. Well, that was a clear indication for me to not use that again, and I didn't. But I still had the symptoms that I went to the doctor for in the first place. In fact, I had additional symptoms, and you know, about the space of about 3 to 4 months or so went by. It may have been 6, I'm not sure. Until one day you know, because I was scared quite a bit about all this. And one day I decided, well, if the doctors have no idea, and my body reacts to their medications that they're giving me, why don't I go and do some research and find out what is causing those kind of symptoms that I was experiencing? And I was quite surprised at what I found, because what every one of the symptoms ended up leading to the same thing. It was leading me to that anxiety was the cause, or not it wasn't necessarily anxiety. What it was is mental stress. Mental stress was the cause of every one of the symptoms that I was experiencing. Well, that got me very curious as to what mental stress was. So I started researching about that. And well, it was caused by anxiety. Well, what's anxiety? This led me down a path of studying like I would have never ever guessed that it would. But as I studied to find out what causes anxiety, what causes mental stress, I realized it's all in the way we think. And it's years that I've been studying that. Why do we think the way we do? And so I found some courses, I bought courses, I learned about the mind, about how our mind works. And why do we think the way we do? And so I found out a lot about how our mind works. But the one thing that has made the most sense to me, why people are experiencing so much anxiety and so much difficulty in their lives, is because of the poverty mindset that we have. And where do we get this poverty mindset? It is because of the monetary system. There is the idea of lack and limitation is spread in all areas, everywhere. We have the idea of lack and limitation. Oh, hi everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining my channel here. But that is what I found, that is the cause for almost, well, probably all of diseases, of all health problems that people face. It comes from the lack and limitation mindset. And we think, well, why would that have something to do with it? Well, it is because we are meant to be free creatures. We are meant to enjoy life to its fullest and to be able to do what we love doing. That is how we were meant to live. But we were placed under this, we were born into this world with a government and leaders that are dictating the monetary system, draining the system, the wealth away from the people, and using it in wars and all those areas, and having control of the media to fool the people, to so the news and all that stuff that we hear in the media is all false. So the whole thing is a huge hoax that, the legal system, the we couldn't look at any area in life. Everything that we need to survive has been rigged by the same people. And then, of course, this lack in limitation that we constantly feel, and it has been pressing and pressing more. And it's because we live with we're using a debt-based system, monetary system, which eventually has to collapse because the debt ratio is always higher than the money to pay the debt. So, like, if you look at the scenario where, and I mean, of course, the proportion may be different, but think about it. Every time money is printed or typed into a computer, it is borrowed with to be paid back with interest. Well, that creates the debt is always higher than the money, and so it can never ever be paid. And that's the system that we've been using, and it has been slowly driving basically most countries into the ground, while at the same time it has been siphoning the wealth away from the people to fund all sorts of killing and so on. So now, that is what I found, what the health problems, what was causing it. And folks, that is what's causing all the sickness in the world, what besides what much of it is actually caused by the medication itself. Medication that doctors prescribe to people is very often the cause, because the body reacts to those drugs that should be fixed by happiness and joy and peace, confidence, so that there isn't mental stress. Because when you are happy and you have plenty, you aren't under any stress. And that's how we're meant to live. Now, here is where TBC has come in and given us and filled that void of this lack, this limitation that we have always had. Now, I know we need to be patient. We need to be patient because TBC has a very, very big concept. The concept of ending global hunger is not a small concept. It is very huge. But folks, think about it. considering even with all the troubles that we were facing in TBC last year, and mind you, when I came on board, we were in the middle of it. We were in, you know, it was just mounting at the time, and of course, you know, when we're not patient, we're probably going to walk away and forget about what we are trying to accomplish. Now, let's think about that. If I'm in it just for me, then why would I stick around with TBC if they're starting to have any trouble? If I'm the only person that I think about, but think about the larger picture. Think about what's going on in the world. If you don't know, then I highly, highly recommend that you educate yourself. And you know where you can find this education? It's actually quite simple. It's at blog.thebillioncoin.info. You know, after I had been in TBC for a little bit, I contacted my sponsor. Actually, I didn't have a sponsor originally because I found TBC without being sponsored by someone. And but then I went and I contacted my sponsor. And I think I've seen that people do this. You know, they'll contact admin or whatever. You know, well, I contacted my sponsor and I says, well, you know, I had some questions about TBC and this and that. And she says, you know, she says, John, you know, my suggestion is that you go to TBC, the blog, and just read all of the blog posts. And guess what I did? I did exactly that. I did exactly that. There were a couple of weeks my time was dedicated to reading, and I read all the posts, and now I found so much information in those posts. You have a great source of info here. Yes. Hi. Yeah, thank you. I was just reading what you had posted. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But you know, what I'd like us to see is the big picture of TBC that TBC has. You know, ending global poverty is very big. It's a very big picture, and this poverty has been over many years that it has been perpetuated. It's been getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's for the reasons which I mentioned before. Because now we have a currency that has been, and it has definitely has the capacity. The capacity of TBC is really, really great. I mean, when you think of each coin being worth €1 billion, 1 billion coins, you times 1 billion by 1 billion is a number with, what is it, 18 zeros? I don't even know how you would pronounce that number, but it is very large. Now, I almost lost my train of thought here for a bit. Yeah, what I was going to say is that TBC is very, very large, but most of the wealth that is in TBC is not actually the monetary value. The monetary value that TBC has is great, but the knowledge, the training, the waking up of us who have been in this sort of a coma for all these years, uh, because of how the system is rigged, how the education system is rigged. You know, we've all been in this. Well, you know, you notice this, that people, they're in this little bubble that I'm the only person that matters. You know, you offer them, you know, you talk to them about TBC, and as soon as they realize that I can't just grab it and take it to my bank and put it in my bank account, well, what good is it? You see, there's no vision in that. There's no vision. We got to see beyond that. We got to see beyond that. And how to do that is by seeing what kind of a world we live in. Now, I have noticed myself that I have to be careful that I don't dwell on that. That I don't dwell on the poverty. I don't dwell on the world that we live in, because it makes me feel sad and miserable. But look at it. Look at what's going on. Look at the world that we live in. What has been created? What has been provided for us so far? We've been looking to people to provide something for us. How well has that worked out for us so far? Well, I think we could safely draw the conclusion that if we want something worthwhile, we're going to have to create it ourselves. I think that is very, and this is why I think if the sooner we draw that conclusion, the better off we are, because all of us are creators. We are all creators. We have incredible intelligence. We do, all of us. Of course, in different areas, but people are very smart. And we can we can come up with all kinds of things. Which reminds me, people are having such a hard time seemingly with how to how to work with TBC, like how to make it stick, how to how do you uh, deal with how do you transact with people. I was there was a video posted yesterday, and if you haven't seen it, it's a very good video. A guy had posted, he's a mechanic, I believe he was a mechanic, and he was working on vehicles for people, and when they didn't have the money to pay him for the work he did, or they had a hard time to pay it or whatever, well, he would say, well, then pay me in TBC. Well, what's TBC? All right, well, now you have a chance to tell them what TBC is. You get this free gift, yada yada. Next thing you know, they pay a $10 fee on their wallet, and their service on the car is free because they can pay it with coin. Now, of course, if they can see a little further than just the little bubble that they live in, then they will most likely buy some, because of the wealth that it will create for them in the future. Just today, I talked with somebody about TBC, and about getting some, and even getting $1,000 worth of TBC for free, because the Kringles now are more than $1,000. And she just said, yeah, but where do you use it? Where can I use it? And well, that's the thing, you you gotta explain that it's gonna take a little time. Yeah, it will take a little time, but don't don't shortchange yourself, thinking that this is gonna drag out, many, many years, because I don't believe it will. I don't believe it will. I think that just as we have reached over 3 million now, even in the midst of all the problems that we were having, Now we have a good blockchain. Now we have a very fast transactions. And now, of course, they were going to have this bank card and all that. And I'm not saying that that wouldn't be a good idea, but you know what? I seriously think that we can do this without a card. I think we can, because we are very creative. And if we can come to 3 million in this short period of time, I think in another 2 years we can be at 1 billion quite easily. That's what I believe. Nowadays, yes, John, 200,000 gifted. Oh, all right. Well, I guess that's not quite $1,000, but we're close. We're close. It's in Canadian dollars, it would already be 1,000, probably a little bit more. Yeah, thank you, Pedro, for sharing that. So, I am very excited about what's going on, and there's much more going on than just TBC that I'm very excited about. In my description, I have put some links in there. My website is in there, which is Crypto-TBC.com. On my website, I have a link that is called True Freedom. If you are wondering what I'm referring to when I'm saying that I'm excited about some other things that are going on, that would be a good page to visit to find out what I'm talking about. Because there is much going on in the world, much more than just what we are doing with TBC, which I believe TBC will become part of most of that in the near future. But there are some very, very good things going on in the future. People all over the world in very, very many areas. There's very much going on that is absolutely wonderful. Working towards getting freedom. Freedom and peace and love is what we need. What does the motto say again on the TBC? To serve one another with love and respect. I love that line. I just really love that line. I think, was it Zig Ziglar, if you've ever heard of him? One of his favorite phrases was, if you help enough people get in life what they want, you can get anything you want. And I think that is very true. But what I would like us to take away from this stream is particularly that we see beyond our own needs, beyond our own selves. Now, I know I'm not talking about, how some people, they can't say no to anything. Some people, they just live for others. That's not what I'm talking about. Because where is the joy? Where's the fulfillment in that? But what I am talking about is, you want to create a better world. We want to create a better world for everyone. For everyone. A world where peace and joy reigns. Who wants all these wars? Who wants all that? Well, certainly not those who want peace and prosperity in their lives. With that said, I am a trusted seller. If you want to buy some TBC, if you want to, if you would like to partner with me, I am happy to help you out. And my website is Crypto-TBC.com. Thank you so much for watching, and with that said, I'm going to sign off. Peace.